What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Just to let you know, tomorrow I have a commitment in the US. I'm going to get my global entry visa. I already have a visa, a regular one, but I need a global entry one because I'm going to start doing more trips to the US and I need that one. So I'm going to try and get you a video by the evening, night, but I'm going to be preoccupied with that the entire morning and part of the afternoon. So just beware of that. I just did a Spanish video for all the new subscribers who are coming from the podcast Paranormal with Mr. Fepo. You guys saw that episode I did with Fepo? I translated it. We actually spoke for 2 hours on his show in my studio, and it was a wonderful conversation. We spoke about Dr. Greenberg. We spoke about psionics. We spoke about Jake Barber, the telepathy tapes, the NHI phenomenon. It was great. So thank you, Fepo, and to all of his team for welcoming me with open arms. We're going to be collaborating together furthermore. So be aware of that. Now that that's out of the way, I just stumbled upon a new statement from Space Force General Chance Saltzman. And I think it's a little bit concerning. I'm just going to tell you a little story about how I knew about this man. When I was still writing for Marca, before I started doing English content on my channel, Psicoactivo was already on. It was in Spanish, but I was writing for Marca about UFOs, UAPs, the hearings, all of that stuff. And one of the headlines that I did when I was just starting to write was a Space Force statement from this man, General Chance Saltzman, where he said that there were going to be threats from outer space that they needed to take care of. I'm going to just drop Joe Rogan's post because Rogan posted it on his Instagram account. And I thought it was interesting, and I wrote an article about that. It was vague, the statement. It could have been really anything, but the wording that he used was very specific. And it goes back to the entire history of space wars that has been going on since the 70s, at least, which includes the trips to the moon and the space race and all of that. But it also includes a lot of secret aircraft that both Russia and the US have been working on for decades and competing for supremacy for decades. So now you guys see how the Age of Disclosure documentary is coming out. You got people like Jay Stratton saying that there's a new arms race unfolding before our eyes for this alleged new technology. And you see people like Colonel Coronel with this sense of urgency, given his presentations on the timeline of disclosure and talking about how important it is for the people to understand what is going on all aspects, not just in the technology side, not just in the UAP side, but also in, believe it or not, the spiritual side and the philosophical side and the scientific side. Because a lot of this is going to change if this is confirmed true by the official entities of government and academia and science. And that's what I believe is already happening. It's happening in science with, for example, Dr. Anna Brady Estevez and all of her efforts on the Ecosystemic Futures podcast. She managed to get actual scientists who are working on this stuff to be more open and talk about what they're working on. For example, Dr. Hal Puthoff and Dr. Richard Banderich and other different scientists who are currently active in NASA and other agencies, DARPA, the DOE, all of that. So that's happening in the science department. I still don't fully understand whether they really actually cracked some type of anti-gravity or extended electrodynamics, or if we're dealing with some sort of ancient technology that they now understand better, because that could also be the case. You can go to Mr. Bob Greenyer, who has been doing a lot of work related to this, to the toroidal movements. That's what he calls them. And they have to do with sacred geometry, and with how humans have been able in the past to discover this technology that Greenyer thinks it's eternal, it's always there. And we have the ability to tap into it. That's what he thinks. He has a Substack called Remote Viewed, where he talks about this and how he believes that this technology is connected to consciousness and to psi abilities, or ESP, extrasensory perception. And he also talks about the Hutchinson effect, which I know there's a lot of people that don't believe on what John Hutchinson did. When he was under scrutiny and when he was being investigated by scientists who were interested in his work, they saw the effects that he made in some of these objects. He twisted metals, and he once he put his finger on a piece of metal and it kind of melted. Well, Bob Greenyer believes that it's not melting, it's just becoming kind of jello like. So its structure is changing. It's not melting really. It's not even hot, it's kind of cold. That's what he says. So these scientists that were investigating Hutchinson said that his investigation was not real because it wasn't repeatable. Only John Hutchinson was able to do it. Whenever somebody else tried it or attempted it, they weren't successful. And Bob Greenyer believes that this is because John Hutchinson did have ESP abilities more developed than other humans. And that's what he's currently investigating, whether there's more humans like him that have these ESP abilities that can tap into this technology, this ancient technology, as he calls it. So I don't know if these new propulsion methods have anything to do with that, or if there was actually a discovery in extended electrodynamics or anti-gravity, as they call it. I'm still investigating that. I'm hoping to get Mr. Bob Greenyer on the show. But whether this is ancient technology or new technology or NHI derived technology, it's still being weaponized, and it's happening in front of our eyes. And I'm going to show you this little snippet from a conference that General Saltzman just gave. And just let me know what you think about it, because I think it's concerning. So I'm going to read to you what it says here from the U.S. Space Command Twitter account. It says, "War in space is not inevitable, but we must be ready, as space is now undeniably a war-fighting domain." General Chance Saltzman from Space Force, Chief of Space Operations, emphasized this to the SASC, highlighting adversaries are showing capabilities that go beyond peaceful intent. What the hell does that mean? And it's similar to that headline that I pulled out from when I wrote in Marca. This guy seems to be going through that route. And if you guys also go back to David Morehouse's interview on Danny Jones, he puts out a timeline of the whole space wars that have been going on since at least the 60s or 70s between Russia, the United States, and now apparently China. So this is what General Chance Saltzman said.
Over the last few years, we've observed, for instance, the Russians have performed some very aggressive on-orbit capabilities in terms of plane matching, getting very close to some of our most sensitive satellites in aggressive ways. They've released what could be presumed to be kinetic kill vehicles that we've watched on orbit. The PRC has demonstrated the ability to use a grappling arm to grab a satellite and pull it out of its operational orbit, return it. All of these are demonstrated capabilities that could be used as anti-satellite technology.
So he's talking about vehicles, he said. So what type of vehicles are they? I would like to know. That's the first question. The second question is, where does China fit into all of this? Do they also have these capable vehicles that can already go into orbit and threaten these satellites from the US? I would like to know that too. And we still don't know if this is really a noble attempt to prevent some type of conflict in the near future, or if this is just more warmongering to get these new technologies that are starting to come out and being acknowledged weaponized. That's the main concern. So that's where my line of investigation is at right now. I am going to keep looking and keep digging. I am going to try and have Mr. Bob Greenyer on the show so he can talk to me about this, because I saw a few presentations from him. I was going to have him on, and I think it was January or February. Don't remember well. But at the time, I had a bunch of different interviews already lined up. And also, and to be more honest and transparent, I wasn't really understanding what he was talking about. And I was approached by one of his collaborators, whose name is going to remain unknown. And he started explaining a little bit more. And he showed me some of the images of these metals and this effect, this toroidal movement that Bob Greenyer talks about. And I am really interested in what he has to say. So I'm going to try and get him on. And just so he knows, I do apologize for not being able to follow up on from the last time we spoke, but I was a bit overwhelmed by both the investigation he was doing that I couldn't understand properly. Now I can a little bit more, and all the different things that I had going on at the time, which are still going on, but now I feel more prepared to talk to him, because I think that if what Bob Greenyer is talking about is real, this is the big secret, or could be one of the big secrets that both the US government and other governments might be hiding. And if this is ancient technology, it wouldn't surprise me that these governments have been privy to this information for a long time, and they've just been keeping it secret from us. So that's what I'm trying to investigate. Let's see what comes out. But for now, please let me know what you think about General Saltzman's statement, which, in my opinion, is really alarming. Do you think that there's like this push for a war in space to happen? Or do you think there's actual danger and it's not going to be forced? It's just going to happen. Let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm not going to go to the conspiracy route with this proposed war and proposed arms race and this warmongering, because we already have enough of that in other channels. But I'm just going to leave you with the question openly. What do you think this is? Do you think they cracked anti-gravity? Do you think there is some kind of ancient technology that they've known about for many years now, and we're about to know what it is? Or do you think they're going to keep it secret and they're going to try to just keep it there and not let people know what's going on? Let me know in the comments. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you can get notified when a new video drops. It costs you nothing, and it is what helps this channel the most. So thank you for your support, and thank you for doing this. It only takes you a few seconds. But if you want to support the channel in any other way, there are a few links in the description that I'm going to leave for you. You can also become a member if you like, or you can support us on the KGRA website. Anything you choose to do is always appreciated. So thank you for your support. And that's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. And welcome to all the new subscribers. There's a lot to go through. Thank you. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive always. Bye.